7 o'clock. I'd like to call this meeting of the Carl Junction Board of Aldermen to order for September 2nd. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Me.
Here.
Karen Wolford.
Here.
Walter Hayes.
Here.
Jim Shanks.
Here.
Bob Meyer.
Here.
David Byer.
Here.
Roger Spencer.
Here.
Anita Francis. Here.
Okay, will you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and then the invocation by Walter? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father, as we begin another session of the Board of Aldermen of the City of Carl Junction, we humbly ask for your wisdom and guidance. Grant us clarity of thought and discernment as we deliberate on the matters before us, so that we may make just and beneficial decisions for all of our citizens. Amen.
Thank you, Walter. Okay, next we will approve the agenda. Does anybody have any corrections or comments on the agenda?
Make a motion we approve the agenda. Second.
Motion by Roger and second by David to approve the agenda. All in favor, please raise your right hand. 8 in the affirmative. And then the next will be for the consent agenda. This is the approval of the minutes from our last regular meeting on the 19th and then the tax levy meeting on the 25th. And this will also approve the disbursements. Does anybody have any questions or comments there?
I'll make a motion we adopt it as presented. Second.
Thank you. Motion by Walter, second by Roger to approve the consent agenda. All in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, this consent agenda is approved, 8-0. Next will be public forum. Is anybody wishing to speak for public forum this evening? Come on up.
Yeah, sure. Couple of questions. My name is Michael Moore. I live at 801 Delaney Drive. One question is, and this is about the election process for a mayor. This is not about what's been going on. Trust me.
No way!
Yes. So when I voted, and I did, the first time for me voting for a mayor in Carl Junction. I've been here 2.5 years. I did live here previously back in 2008, 9, 10, 11. And I couldn't tell you whether I voted back then or not. But when I voted, and then there was 5 people running, right? And then the winner, and again, this is not about any individual, the winner had, what, 28%. And I thought, wait a minute, there's no runoff? And so my question to the council is why, I mean, I know it costs money, but, you know, that's life. You know, what happened costs money, okay. What if 10 people ran and the highest was 9%? You know, so I've just questioned the wisdom of just taking the highest one without a runoff. My personal feeling would be I feel much more comfortable if there was a runoff of the top 2 or 3 or set some criteria. You know, so for what it's worth, that's my comments. Another question is for those of us that don't come or can't come for every meeting. For example, I really wanted to go to the CJ soccer game tonight in Webb City, but so I sent my wife and my son. They were going anyhow. So the approval of minutes I assume that has to be done before the public can see the minutes.
That's correct, yes.
Okay, so I would ask you to consider when I was looking at the minutes today. The most recent was August 5th. That's a month. There's been 2 meetings since then. So is there anything that can be done to accelerate the process of approval so the public can see those minutes? So I'm sitting here now wondering what happened at the last 2 meetings. Well, I know some of it, but, you know, wanting to see those minutes, but I can't because I wasn't here. So, you know, asking for consideration for that is to be accelerated somehow where they can be published in a more, for the public's view, a little more timely manner. So. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Mr. Talley, are those things set by state statute, or do we know?
I'm sorry, you,
In regards to the election and like a runoff, is that set by state statute? how we run our elections, or is that
I
something?
haven't looked at that.
Okay.
I don't know the answer to that. I can look at
Okay.
that. I'll be happy.
Yeah, it's interesting. That's a thought.
Good question.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Claudia Cox, and I reside at 301 North Arlington, and I have several different comments. First of all, I presume that whenever you select somebody to do the work, whether the water line work, whatever it may be, that you usually select the lowest bidder. And I just want to put a thought in your head that when you do that in the future, I, myself, as well as many others in the area, have had trouble with at-nip construction. What the way the land was before they started and the way it was after they finished was not acceptable at all. I called the city, and they sent, at-nip came back down to work on it again. Big, huge rocks all over everywhere. Because of the big, huge rocks, then I'm out a mower of $1,500 because they were hiding in the grass. This is an easement that I'm talking about. So I called Jay. Got a hold of Jay. Jay was very nice and helpful, and he said he'd get a hold of at-nip and have them come back out again. So they've been out 3 times. Still, there are huge rocks. I have been out there picking up the rocks myself, painting where big ones are. I do not plan on mowing the easement because I can't afford to buy another mower. And not only myself has had this problem, but all those that's through that. It's behind Arlington and before the Senior Citizens Division. So I figure if I want it done right, I'll do it myself. I'll bring in the topsoil. I will plant the grass seed, but I'm not going to mow it until I'm guaranteed that I have picked up all the rocks. I do want to say that if you probably filled out or asked people a survey on at-nip construction, they probably would not give you positive comments because it's just not my area, it's several others. I do want to state also, Jay was extremely helpful in the process. Craig was not. He needs to be put on a personal improvement plan so that he can learn how to address people and just not cut them short and disregard what they're talking about. Okay, also, Pennell Street. I really feel that whenever visitors coming down Pennell Street, their first views is what makes a difference. Everything along Pennell Street is nice until you get to 318 East Pennell, where if you look, you'll find at least 3 mattresses back there, lots of bicycles, lots of trash. If we're all about accountability, I heard so much about accountability, then why do we let that continue to look like that? And why can you have more than 20 roosters in the city and nothing be done about it? So if we're going to have policies and ordinances, then let's be where it's affecting everybody. So improve the city appearance and the accountability. I also want to state that I appreciate Dr. Pyle and Mr. Spencer for having an open mind and actually listening and paying attention during the impeachment hearing. I believe that it shows that they have concerns for the citizens and they do care about the voters in Carl Junction. I also believe that it shows that these 2 men are men of integrity. And next to the last thing, sorry, please let me have a little more than 5 if you got your watch on me. I really feel like a forensic audit needs to be done. We need transparency. You want accountability, we need transparency. We need to know if this wants to be run as a business instead of a community-minded area, then let's see your business policy, your business rules. Let's see how the money is being spent. Let's see if everything is being followed as it's supposed to be, how our salaries set, how our employees taken care of, the whole ball of wax. Not just a simple little audit that they do. Let's have a forensic audit. And to me, if you want transparency, the one who could make a difference on this, or actually two. Number one, Steve Lawver could call for a forensic audit. If he is afraid of something going on, then let him prove to the citizens that there is nothing that he is trying to hide. Also, if that doesn't work, you as a council can vote and say, we want this forensic audit done for our community. I know that if I ask for a forensic audit, and I'm willing to do it, if you guys aren't willing to step up and handle it, then I will go out with the help of a lot of people and get the 650 signatures that we need in order for this to be passed. But you can start the healing process of Carl Junction and show the transparency and show the citizens of Carl Junction that you're not out hiding something or talking things before meetings. And the last one. Okay. When I told some friends and my family that I was going to come and visit tonight, they said, you're going to be retaliated against. They're going to find something to get you on. And I want you to prove them wrong, that I'm not going to be the one you come after now for whatever the situation is. As I said, this is the two men of integrity, Mr. Pyle, Dr. Pyle, and Mr. Spencer. I don't worry about them. Some of you I don't know enough to know, and you probably don't even know who I am or what I do. But I do know that Steve has the power to make things miserable on people, and he has the power that people, he can ask employees to do things which I feel is not appropriate. So you need to prove me wrong and prove my family wrong and my friends wrong, that you're not going to be out to get me for whatever I said tonight. Because I only say things when I mean them. I am truthful to people, and I wanted to express my concerns. And if you have any questions for me, I'll be glad to answer them. If you ever want to call me up and ask me anything, I will be glad to communicate what my concerns are. So that's it.
Thank you.
Can I go next?
Go ahead.
Richard Garrett, 1021 Copper Oaks Drive, and I have three things. Maybe it'll slide into four, I don't know. But I was here for the hearings last week, and this is not about the hearings. It's really about the light that's out here as you exit the building and head into the parking lot. I guess it was storm damage that light was taken out, and it's being repaired. That's good. What's bad is there's no guard fence around it. So they dig a hole that is pretty good size. They're chipping out the old concrete there. They've got a good sized hole. It is dark when the meetings let out, and you go, there's a hole here somewhere. So it's really dangerous. So it seems to me that there needs to be some guard rails, or, like you do a plastic fence, whatever you call that, around some construction sites. I brought the issue up when they were building the convenience center down here on Pinnell. It was huge holes, but there were no guard fencing around it. If you dig a hole, if you dig a hole for a swimming pool in your yard, you've got to have that all up. But these other things don't seem to happen. I don't know whether it's a part of the code or not, but I'm telling you, if somebody had slipped in that dark hole, that would have been a problem. So, anyway, consider that. One of the things that seemed to come up as a part of the hearings last week was who reports to who. I think that was one of the things that was at the first council meeting after the new mayor was installed. Who reports to who? I don't know. Is there an org chart for the city of Carl Junction on who reports to who? And what the job titles and responsibilities are of the various organizations. I heard one job, I don't know whether it was a title or whatever, but it was a long list of tasks that the person did, and it was very varied. You go, do they do all of that? So I think there needs to be a clearer organization chart of who reports to who. And part of that then is the responsibility in regard to their performance in that job. How does that happen? I know at the end of the year, there's some forms distributed and the council evaluates someone. I don't know whether that's just Steve or it's other folks or whatever. How does that all happen? And is it really comprehensive? Or if you're just checking a few boxes, that's not really good personnel management in my mind. It has to be more comprehensive than that. Anyway, and that should be available on the website. A little bit more in regards to transparency that's already been talked about. If you want a package that you all get, you have to ask for it. Why not just put it up on the website rather than have to ask for it and send it out? That's part of that, from my viewpoint as a citizen, is, well, you're keeping information from me. It's available, but you have to beg. No, it should be more available to the community. Third thing, for the people who are doing an evaluation and work in improving the technology in the building, part of this was came out last week at the hearings as well. The speakers in that center over there it's kind of unusual. There's, I'll call them Bose speakers, good speakers in the corners of the building, of the room. However, in the area that has the highest ceiling and the most area for the sound to go, there aren't any speakers, and that's where it's the hardest to hear. So there ought to be, in that technology review that you're doing, please consider improving the sound distribution in the senior center.
Thank you. Anybody else wish to speak for public forum this evening? Okay. All right, thank you. We'll move on to P&Z cases. Our first is case 2506 to annex in the approximately 32 acres on Highway 171. I'd like to open the public hearing on this. If anybody would like to speak in favor of the annexation, now's the time.
Planning and zoning met on this the other day, and they are recommending approval.
Thank you. Does anybody want to speak on this property?
Holly, I saw on the internet, they said it would never be annexed. It was impossible.
Oh, well,
Are you telling me Facebook was wrong?
I hope that we will annex that in this evening.
You're kidding me. Tonight?
Yes, sir.
Wow. How about that?
Can I ask what's the purpose of the annexation?
Yes, yeah, this is approximately 32 acres off of Highway 171. It's not currently in the city, but the city has just purchased this property, and we are hoping to develop it commercially.
That's the one.
Yes. Is anybody opposed to this? Okay.
A question or comment that I would bring up. Mr. Dooling spoke in public forum a couple of weeks ago, I think, and brought up a request that we take efforts to preserve some of the residential adjoinement and nature of that property. And I know that right now it's just a matter of annexation. Do we have some sort of sense of a timeline for even just a conceptual plating or design that would help show these residents that are nearby what barriers will be maintained between them and the commercial property?
No, that is really kind of next on the list after we get it annexed, and then after we do the rezoning on it to commercial. I'll work with the engineers to get a conceptual put together of the property that has all the proper elevations on it and that type of thing. What comes with an annexation is just basically a boundary survey only. So
Okay.
that is one of the next steps.
Thank you.
Okay, if we have no other,
Got a
oh,
question.
go ahead.
Steve, are they gonna have a setback, you know, the distance from the houses that's on the,
Yeah, we have our standard setback that's already set out by ordinance. But for those houses, especially on the east side and possibly north side because of the width of Gum Road, that we're looking at putting in some additional barrier in there, so some additional setback that they would have to
approximately how much? You got any idea?
be. Not yet.
That's all I have, thank you.
Okay, I'll go ahead and close this public hearing if we have nothing further. Okay, number 7, discussion on setting a special meeting on vacancies.
You've got the city code in front of you, 115.070, and then we also have state statute that was handed to you, 79.280. And really, I would feel more comfortable with this tally, whatever it is.
To my recollection, we haven't used these provisions to punish the mayor to fill a vacancy. At least I couldn't recall. I mean, I asked Howard before the meeting if he could recall. I don't know that we've done it before. The city code provision provides for filling a vacancy to any elected office. That includes the mayor, but doesn't specifically deal with the mayor as such. The state statute provides specifically for the mayor, and I quote, "If the vacancy is in the office of the mayor, nominations of a successor may be made by any member of the Board of Alderman and selected with the consent of the majority of the members of the Board of Alderman." Then it says the board can adopt procedures consistent with that. Well, the procedures we adopted in our code are just kind of vague, is exactly how it goes. Not having done this before, the first step is to call a special election. And I would say the board can either adopt a procedure of submitting nominations to the mayor pro tem for the appointment of the mayor, or bypass that and let the mayor make a nomination, but the end result will require a vote of the Board of Aldermen with a majority approving of the selection. So the advice and consent will be done in either event. But I really think it's up for the board to decide how you wish to proceed. If you wish the mayor to simply, or the mayor pro tem, to come up with names, or if you would like to nominate individuals for that position. And all of this should come back at the special meeting that you set to make the actual choice. So I hope I haven't confused it. Maybe I have. The state statute and the code are a little bit different. State statute deals with the mayor specifically, says you all nominate. city code, which is somewhat consistent, just says the mayor may fill a vacancy with the advice and consent. So you're going to vote in either case.
Mr. Talley, am I correct that it can be any citizen that meets the qualifications set forth in city code to serve as mayor?
Yes.
And my personal preference would be nominations from the board.
Do we have a deadline of how many days out?
There
Do we
is no
have to have-
deadline, no. Both the statute and the code are silent on when this is going to happen. It just says the mayor pro tem or the person exercising the powers of the mayor will call a special meeting. Doesn't say how soon.
I tend to agree with David on this. Outside of that, so now that we are down to 7 council people,
You have 8 council people.
she's still voting?
She can still
Holly
vote.
is mayor pro tem. She's exercising the power of the mayor, but generally she will have a vote as an alder person, just like you all do. She does not lose the power to vote.
Excellent, thank you.
So what would be your guidance?
Well, I think there ought to be a consensus on the board that you proceed in one way or the other. Either you come up with nominations or the board nominates. And I think that is subject to a motion that can be done now. Just a procedural decision as to how to proceed. So a motion and let the board decide how they want to do it.
What do you guys think? If we had a week, could we come up with names? Is that too short or too long? I mean, I got nobody.
2, if you could.
2 weeks. Is that okay?
I think that's possible.
Can we do it in a special meeting before the next regular meeting?
When we filled vacancies in the past, although it hasn't been for the mayor, we have often scheduled the special meeting half an hour, 15 minutes or half an hour before the regular meeting on a regular meeting night. It makes it a lot more convenient.
So maybe 2 weeks from now.
Make it for 6:30 next.
We do have a form that the alderman could use that uses the same thing as, the Missouri election thing about qualifications, that somebody could submit, and you could use those to submit. Taxes are paid, water bills are paid, that type of thing, just like you do when you sign up for an elective office. We could use those, no problem.
Are those online or is that paper?
Paper.
I could have guessed.
We can-
I could have guessed, Steve.
We can put them online. It's not a problem.
I'd
Or
put
they
forth-
could be for, the board's use.
I would put forth a motion that we do by nominations and hold a special meeting at like 6:30 before the next regular meeting. The nominations is consistent with state statute, so.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Walter and a second by David to hold nominations at a special meeting before the next regularly scheduled meeting. Anybody in favor of this, please raise your right hand. Okay, 8 in the affirmative. So we will schedule, what's the date of the next meeting?
September 16th.
Okay, so September 16th at 6:30 PM, please, for a special session.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
Mr. Talley, just thinking ahead procedurally, in theory, there's the possibility that we could have 8 different nominations. So will we have a procedure set forth between now and then to account for that and how we will?
We just vote?
You're making the rules.
I believe there can be multiple rounds of voting.
Okay.
I'm bringing like 5 people.
Would.
And just as a follow-up to the public forum on selection of the mayor, I've been just looking through the code, and it is very non-specific, but eventually says that we abide by state law. I don't know what the state law says about runoffs, but it is state law that controls. I'll take a look at that before.
We don't have a primary or an election that precedes the,
I can't.
I said we don't have a primary or an election that precedes the general municipal election.
So if we appoint a new mayor, they will serve until April?
Yes.
Okay,
until the next-
and then there'll be a regular election?
Until the next municipal election.
Right, okay.
And that will be April, and they will serve as actual mayor during that time. And then there'll be an election of the new mayor.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion or questions on that? Okay, let's move along to ordinances. Our first ordinance is for an agreement with Ace Pipe Cleaning Company for the 2025 wastewater collection system rehabilitation project.
Make a motion to put this ordinance on reading by title only.
Motion by Roger, second by Carol to put this ordinance on reading by title only, please. First reading by title only.
An ordinance approving an agreement between the city of Carl Junction, Missouri and Ace Pipe Cleaning Company Incorporated to commence and complete the 2025-01 wastewater collection system rehabilitation in the city in accordance with the contract documents for the sum of $380,030 and $3,500 and authorizing the mayor and or city administrator to execute said agreement for and on behalf of the city of Carl Junction, Missouri.
This is our I&I work that we do either once a year or once every couple of years. We actually have a fairly healthy reserve in that I&I account. So the engineers and I have moved up the schedule to get this done. This project, talking to them, will be completed before the next budget cycle. Jumping on it early this year to allow them some time to get it done. So there's another round of lines that will be cleaned and sealed and manholes taken care of.
Does anybody have any questions or discussion on this?
Make a motion to put the ordinance on second reading by title only.
Second.
Motion by David, second by Roger? Walter?
Anything you want to do?
To put the ordinance on second reading, please.
An ordinance approving an agreement between the city of Carl Junction, Missouri and Ace Pipe Cleaning Company Incorporated to commence and complete the 2025-01 wastewater collection system rehabilitation in the city in accordance with the contract documents for the sum of $380,030 and $3,500 and authorizing the mayor and or city administrator to execute said agreement for and on behalf of the city of Carl Junction, Missouri.
Any further discussion?
Make a motion to put it on final passage.
Let's see. Who was always second? Anita? Okay. Walter, motion to put that on final passage. Anita, second. Can you please read the title again, please? Oh, hand vote to go to an electronic vote. I apologize. All those in favor of going to an electronic vote? Okay. You may vote electronically.
Leave that down there.
Okay, that's 8 in the affirmative, so that ordinance passes. That'll be ordinance number 2531. Thank you. Okay, our next ordinance is to approve a petition to extend the Briarbrook CID for 27 years. I can take a motion to put this on first reading by title.
Make a motion. Put it second.
Motion by Roger and second by Bob, please, to put this on first reading by title only.
An ordinance approving a petition to extend the Briarbrook
Any discussion on this item? Any questions?
Seems there was a public hearing held.
There was, yes, last Wednesday.
Were you present for that public?
I was not.
Was, and I think the board should at least know the outcome of that public hearing before they vote on this ordinance, as to whether there were objections, protests, or other actions by the public that appeared in public at the public hearing. And if you could call on Mr. Powers, I'm confident he would like to speak.
Mr. Powers, would you like to give us a
5 minutes.
recap?
5 minutes.
Turn your camera on, man. He gets 5 minutes.
Mark Powers, 121 Forsum Lane. I am on the board of the Briarbrook CID. We are asking to extend the CID for 27 years. In 2021, the state legislature passed a new law that said that we could extend CIDs for 27 years. We had, probably 25 or 30 people here for the meeting on Wednesday. And they asked questions not just about the extension, they also asked questions about the additional property, which was supposed to be the next night, but we just went ahead and talked about both of them at that time. Most of the questions were, a lot of people don't understand the CID or what it is. This is not a cost increase to the city. This is not a cost increase to the people in the CID. All this does is establish the board of directors for being able to operate the golf course, the swimming pool, tennis court in the CID for 27 more years, which will expire on August 31st of 2052. I don't know if any of you guys are going to be around here when it expires, but I will not be.
Not that attitude, Mark.
No one objected to it. People just, they just wanted an explanation of the CID. And I can either talk about the other one, or I can wait till the next ordinance comes up to talk about the public hearing for that one, which lasted probably 3.5 minutes. This one lasted 50 minutes. And people were concerned, they were worried about the taxes going to increase, what's going to cost that. The only downside is, if the CID is not extended for 27 years, then in 2030, there will be the dissolution of the CID, and we will have to sell the golf course and swimming pool property. And then the proceeds, we have to decide how we're going to do that, what we would do with the proceeds. Do you guys have any questions?
I do. So
Yeah.
would our action, if we approve it, would that be it? It's extended, or would it also require a vote of the
No.
residents of the CID?
Just the board.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the residents had their opportunity for input with the public?
Yeah, they had the input with the public hearing, right. And no one was against it that came here for the public hearing, since it's not a cost thing.
Any further discussion on that item?
Make a motion, we put it on second reading by title only.
Second?
Okay, motion by Roger and second by David to put that ordinance on second reading by title only, please.
An ordinance approving a petition to extend the Briarbrook Community Improvement District for a period of 27 years and authorizing certain actions in connection therewith.
Anything further?
Make a motion that we put the ordinance on final passage?
Second.
Motion by David to put the ordinance on final passage, second by Roger. This will be a hand vote to go to an electronic vote. Please raise your right hand. Favor? Okay, 8 in the affirmative. Please vote electronically. Okay, that's 8 in the affirmative, so the ordinance passes, and that will be ordinance number 2532. Okay, thank you. Okay, and then our last ordinance is also with Briarbrook. This is to just add some additional property to the CID. This is the new properties that Schuber's building, right? Okay, and how many homes is this? Or lots? 29 lots. Okay.
Make a motion that we put the ordinance on first reading by title only?
Second.
Okay, motion by David, second by Roger to put that ordinance on first reading by title only, please.
An ordinance approving a petition to add real property to the Briarbrook Community Improvement District district, and consenting to the modification of the district boundaries as set forth in the petition, and authorizing certain actions in connection therewith.
Mark, did you have anything you'd like to say on this?
Yeah, I'm over we talked about it first, not much in the second hearing. People were concerned with, some people thought that we were going to buy these Schubert Mitchell properties and wonder where the city was going to get the money. This is not the case at all. All it is Schubert Mitchell came to the CID and wanted these properties included in the CID. The reason they were not included originally is because this property was not in the city limits when the CID was formed. And it's an extension of the Silver Oaks Road down there. And right now, there's a big fenced area. If you haven't been down there, we're waiting for the EPA to do remediation before they can really build any properties on it. So, and when everybody understood that, it's just like, my house, I pay a real estate tax to the CID, and it gives me a discount at the golf course and a discount at the swimming pool and things like that. And it's just, Schubert Mitchell wanted to try and sell their properties. It's a sales tool for them, and of course, we have no problem with it.
This property that you're talking about here,
Yes, sir.
is that by Fur Road and Peace Church area?
Yeah, yes, right there, where Peace, where the gravel road is there? Yeah, it's that property that goes into there from Silver Oaks all the way down to Peace Church.
Wasn't supposed to?
Pardon me?
The one that Schubert Mitchell built wasn't supposed to? The road?
Yeah, they got in trouble with the EPA on that, yeah. That's because we forced them to. You can blame me on that.
So Schubert Mitchell just wants to be able to advertise that these properties will get a discount at the golf course because they're included.
Yep.
Is that what this is?
Yep, they'll have the amenities that everybody else in Ward 3 has to the golf course and the swimming pool. Of course, everybody in the city can play on the tennis courts.
Will they be in the city limits then?
They are in the city limits now. Yeah, it's already in city limits. That's the only way you can get in the CID. They have to be in the city limits.
Thank you very much. Any discussion on this? Any questions?
Make a motion to put it on second reading by title only.
Second.
Okay. Motion by Roger to put this on second reading and second by Anita, please.
In order to bring a petition to add real property to the Briarwood Community Improvement District, and consenting to the modification of the district boundaries as set forth in the petition, and authorizing certain actions in connection therewith.
Thank you. Any further questions, discussion?
Make a motion to put the ordinance on final passage.
Second.
Motion by David, second by Bob to put this on final passage. This will be a hand vote to go to an electronic vote. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, please vote electronically.
You're getting a workout, kid.
All right, that's 8 in the affirmative, so the ordinance passes, and that'll be ordinance number 2533. Okay, thank you. Okay, next we're going to go to the administration report. This is Steve's report. Does anybody have any questions on this? I'd like to, on the technology, can we discuss doing that in-house, purchasing our own items and installing those? I mean, we could definitely get bids for that. I know we've gotten a couple of bids, but I would like to see if we could do that ourselves to save some money.
Do we have somebody in-house with the expertise for that kind of installation?
We do not. It would be, I would still have to include mounting a, mounting a camera or mounting a projector is not a big deal. Running a cables is a big deal.
Maybe we could purchase the items and...
We don't have the equipment to do that. We'd still also have to include everything paid for with
Have we gotten any bids back on this?
that. We have a couple of quotes that were given to us by contractors, but we would still have to go out for bid on it. Would still have to advertise.
And for me, it's never been installation that's the problem, right? I mean, the equipment costs a certain amount of money, and as I think Holly pointed out several meetings ago, she thought it was maybe a little bit high because we could purchase stuff a little cheaper, which is a good observation. And then the installation is burdensome but doable, but it's the follow-up that always gets you. I mean, it's the maintenance and the follow-up, and if something's wrong, that's where I personally draw the line at Briarbrook. I do their AV stuff at Briarbrook, but I wouldn't touch it here because there's always follow-up, there's always stuff to be done, and to me, that's where you spend your money, is if you do it professionally, if you can. That'd be my only concern,
And it's equipment. There's always going to be some.
typically.
And then I have some questions about the pool. So it's my understanding that the rubber mat is helping with the drainage. So I've got a couple questions here. So if that is the case, would the insurance even allow us to open with that kind of rubber mat in the pool?
No, you can't have that rubber mat in there while you're operating the pool because those are the drains that recirculate the water back through the pumps and go through the filters.
Okay, so what does this show us with the rubber mat? Like, is there a fix there?
It isolated as good as possible, it isolated those main drains, and I think there's 3 of them in the bottom there. It isolated those so that you know that the water leakage was slowed down with the rubber mat. I don't want to say it was completely stopped, but the pool structure itself was still leaking.
And then it is still leaking around the lights, right? The lights.
It could have been through the lights. It could have been through, there is piping underneath. There's 2 of them that run the length of the pool down close to the center that have a little cover on them, which is where the pressure lines come back up and the water is returned after the filters back into the pool system. It could have been from around those. It could have been from the light structures. It could have been from the expansion joints in between the saw cuts. There was still numerous places that it could have been leaking from.
But it's definitely leaking from the drains and the lights.
Definitely.
31,289 gallons lost in that 3 days. That sounds awfully expensive and a big waste of water to me. It's just going back underground.
And I had a brief discussion with Public Works today, who brought up a good point. You know, make the pool tight, but who's running it? I mean, what the YMCA want, $50,000 or $75,000 to run it for us? I mean, even we get this sucker tightened up, I think we got a new problem on our hands. And I hate to get the pool fixed and spend a lot of money fixing it with not having a plan on who's going to run it, you know, after we get it fixed. So I've kind of leaned against, you know, fix a seal and all this. I don't care how we fix it, but I'm trying to figure out who's going to run it at that expense. And believe me, I'd love to have it open. Make my house value go up. So nobody wants it open more than I do. But there is a cost.
Got a splash pad?
I do have a splash pad. It's not in my front yard. Pool's in my backyard.
You gonna volunteer to be a lifeguard?
It was suggested I could lifeguard, but I'm too pale. So I have to pass.
Any further comments on that? Any more questions for Steve on his report? We'll go on to department reports. Our first one here is for Public Works. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Harvey, anything? Okay, thank you.
Harvey, do you think we should get more bids? Do you think we should get more bids on the pool? So that's your, kind of your concern too?
Not my expertise. I got an idea. Why can't you contact your girls' swim team up there, Carl, and see if you can get some of them and get an adult in there to cover it all?
Because they have a
And then-
swim team. so
And you
that's
pay them to do lifeguards. Whatever, $13, $15 an hour in summer.
And I know lifeguards were, well, it was a problem when I first moved here. I remember
It's not as big of a problem anymore.
kind of right before COVID maybe, and lifeguards were an issue, but maybe lifeguards aren't an issue anymore. But it's still, you got to have somebody coordinate it, right? Somebody's got to keep up with the money, somebody's got to be there, somebody's got to take the responsibility.
But I think if you put, I think if it was open, where it generated revenue for the city, where we could make money off of it, so there's your money to put back into somebody running it or whatever. I think if you put it out there, you would get somebody.
You could be
Because
right.
there's enough people in the area that wants it open.
It's,
Put it out, you might get 23-year-old college. Just go to school and do something. That'd be okay. I'm
Okay,
okay with that.
question. How much money did the pool generate when it was open?
Well, if you got a job and it's paid to get in, it's like $6 a head, I think.
it's my understanding that the city never made money on the pool, that it was always
It's always.
a loss.
It's always been a loss for us.
So do you want something for your youth to do to keep them out of listed from vandalizing cars and, I mean, that's where you gotta look at too. These kids don't have nothing to do, so they're gonna get in trouble.
All right, thank you. All right, let's move on to the police report, please. Or did we have a police report?
Sorry, I was,
Oh, no problem.
last week for a family emergency, so I don't have one. The only thing I would like to touch on is the rash of vandalism that we had a few weeks ago to a month ago. About 2 weeks ago, the main juvenile suspect was charged by the juvenile office. From that point, we don't know what happens. As of today, they issued a warrant for the second juvenile, and I do know they filed 9 different counts on that juvenile and took him into custody, so.
And are you able to tell if it was a Carl Junction resident or? Okay, thank you. I appreciate your work on that.
That was all detective action. I mean, he
Oh,
put
yes.
work in contacting people and checking for video and just people dropping names and following up on everything. So
Yeah.
he did a great job on it.
That's great, thank you so much. Any questions for the chief? Okay. Okay, let's move on to committee reports, please. Our first is budget and finance. Walter, anything?
I don't have anything. We have a budget meeting that we'll schedule for in November after the end of the next quarter. And that will be open to the public as they all are. So we'll announce that as we get closer.
Okay, great, thank you. Code and nuisance, Carol?
I don't have anything.
Okay, thank you. Human resources, Roger?
this time.
Thank you. Public facilities, anything? Okay, thank you. And then for economic development, we are working on getting our property annexed in. And hopefully that, will we vote on that at the next meeting? Okay, I apologize. We'll vote on that at the next meeting. Okay. Okay, let's go to unfinished business. Anita, anything for you? No. Okay, Bob?
Nothing.
Roger? Okay, nothing for me.
Go ahead.
No, ma'am.
James, Steve, Crystal, Elena, Mr. Talley, okay, Jay, or Harvey, sorry, and the chief? Okay. Sorry. And then new business, go back around. Chief? Harvey? Mr. Talley? Elena? Crystal? Steve? James?
Nothing tonight.
No, ma'am.
Carol?
No.
Well, David? Nothing for me? Thank you. Anita? Okay. Is there any other business before the council this evening?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Motion by Roger, second by Anita. All in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, thank you very much. We are adjourned.